Oh my god, it feels so good to be back on this YouTube doing what I do. I am so excited to do this video. I have been going through a lot of things. These past week or 2 weeks has been very stressful for me. If you know me, you know that my great-grandmother passed away just recently, and just a couple days ago we went to the funeral, and it's just been a busy week. It's been, a very emotional, crazy week, so I've been trying my best to get back on it. But look, I'm back and I'm ready to give y'all some tea. And today we're doing it a little different. I'm actually gonna be doing a story time about the time that my 4th grade teacher left me in the classroom while I was in a wheelchair. We gonna get into the story. It can be funny, it can be emotional, it can be whatever you want it to be, whatever. I'ma just tell the story how I remember it, and we just gonna get into it. And if you haven't already, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see what's gonna be my next video. I got some good stuff coming up for y'all. And oh yeah, don't let me forget, girl, y'all see the hair? Y'all see the braids, honey? Y'all see it? Y'all see it. Don't act like you don't see it. I actually did these braids Wednesday, and I really like it. I was seeing a lot of girls doing this with the different, the platinum and a golden type of blonde color, and I was like, wait, I want to try that, because I always try this color, but I never tried this color right here, and I always get this color. So I was like, let me try something different, let me try something new. So, also I have a video waiting for you guys, basically me showing you guys how to properly remove smaller box braids like these, especially if you have 4C hair. It can be a bit difficult to try to maintain shedding and breakage and all that stuff while you're taking out your braids. So go ahead and check out that video. I'll have it ready for you guys, but you guys won't know when I upload it unless you subscribe. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. And at the end of this video, go ahead and give it a like and comment, and yeah, let's get to it. Basically, this story is this happened when I was in 4th grade. I believe it was 2009, 2010. I was in 4th grade, and it was I came back to school in probably September, and in the summertime, an incident had happened and I ended up in a wheelchair. The backstory behind the whole wheelchair situation is actually very emotional for me, and it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic for me to talk about. However, I am willing to share that story with you guys one of these days, and it'll all make sense once I do make that video as to why I was in a wheelchair. But I will definitely do a story time about that in due time. But anyways, I was in a wheelchair coming back from summer because an incident had happened, basically a car accident. And if you know me, you already know the story. But yes, so I was in a wheelchair and I was not able to return to school with everybody else. I had to return, and I believe at the end of August going into September or mid-September. I can't remember exactly when, but I was able to return back to school. And of course, returning back to school after summer, a lot of my friends were seeing me oh my god, Calvinisha's in a wheelchair, what happened? Everybody was kind of hysterical about it. My first few days of school, my mom took me, and then after that I was basically catching a different type of bus from everyone else, the buses that they use for disabled kids. And of course that situation was very, very, very sensitive for me, because I was going through a lot for a 9-year-old in that situation, and having to go back to school and allow your friends to see you at this point. And a lot of my friends did not judge me because I was in a wheelchair. A lot of my friends didn't judge me because I had to catch a different bus than they did. And I was in a wheelchair because I had a cast on my leg. Actually, I think I'm gonna show you guys I think I'm gonna show you guys a picture of me when I was in my wheelchair. Okay, so here's me. Please ignore everyone else in the freaking photo, but there I was in a wheelchair. You can't really see. I'm trying not to like get everybody else, but yeah, you get the point. I was in a wheelchair, and I believe it was my right leg. And so yeah, like I was in a wheelchair, and I had friends who were very supportive. They, as you can see in the picture, like I had friends who were, you know, helping me, pushing me around, you know, just being good people, good kids, and I definitely appreciated them for that. So my first few days at school, I believe it was like my second or third day back at school, the other kids had already gotten, you know, introduced, and the teacher had already gotten adjusted and everything like that. So I was kind of late, a little bit late, and I'm not gonna say the teacher's name, but she ended up being my favorite teacher in the end of all of this. But basically, one day we were in the classroom, and I don't remember where we were going. I just remember them saying, okay, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna take a walk, or I don't remember if it was for lunch or recess or something. But I do remember like all the kids were like getting their bags, like, you know, putting them on the table. And I'm thinking like, oh, are we leaving? Are we going home? I kind of want to go home, but we weren't going home. So everybody's lining up at the door, and I'm just sitting there in my wheelchair at the desk looking like, okay. At this point in time, I had not mastered actually pushing myself. So I was still kind of like in a mode where like I wasn't able to like do things on my own. Not because I couldn't do it, but because I don't know, I just wasn't mentally prepared for it, or I wasn't ready to. So for me to like push my own wheelchair, it was kind of hard for me, and I had really, really small arms. As you can see in the picture, I was really tiny. Like I was maybe like 4'9". I was like 4'9" or 4'8" in 4th grade. So I was really short. I was very tiny, and you can only imagine. I had like a nice sized wheelchair. So me trying to like push and push and push all day, it just took a lot out of me. So I wasn't really willing to like push myself in my wheelchair. So I was thinking like, okay, somebody's gonna help me, you know, push my wheelchair. Somebody's gonna help me, because I mean, you know, it's a school, so you would think like they would be more considerate. They would like want to help me and stuff like that. Like I said, my friends were supportive, but they didn't really understand everything. So, you know, they weren't always helpful in the beginning. So everybody's lining up. My teacher's like, okay, single file line, everyone leave the classroom, wait at the end of the building for me. So I'm looking like, okay, like, all right, I'm still sitting here. All the kids are kind of just like doing their own thing, not really paying me any attention. And next thing I knew, the majority of the class is out of the classroom. The teacher's following, and I just look at the students like fading away out the classroom. The teacher turns off the lights. Turns off the lights in the classroom. And I'm sitting in a dark classroom by myself, 9-year-old me. Keep in mind, I'm going through some things. I'm emotional. I'm already like, you know, hurt because of the situation that happened. I already feel awkward coming back to school in a wheelchair, when previously I was able to run and do everything I could do like a normal kid. So when that happened, I definitely felt out of place, and I was so confused as to why the teacher left me in the classroom. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually really scared. It was like, damn, like, you just gonna leave me in a classroom like that, and you didn't even think to like, oh my God, we are missing a student. Like, you didn't do a head count, you didn't even check to see, you know, if any other students were missing. You kind of just like, oh yeah, let's go outside, and trailed everyone out, and didn't even realize that you left a student in the classroom, a student in a wheelchair at that. And I was extremely quiet. I was a very quiet kid, and like other kids that I grew up with didn't see me as a quiet kid. But when it came to adults and people older than me, I was quiet. Nobody could get a word out of me. I was just like, okay, I'm not about to say nothing, because I was too shy. I was just too shy. And then at that point, it was like a new teacher, so I didn't know her. She didn't know me. So it was like, you know, I was very uncomfortable at that point. So time passes by, and I'm like, oh my God, they have not came back for me. It felt like forever. It felt like an hour, but it was probably only like 3-4 minutes. But I was just sitting there like and looking around like, oh my God, like how am I supposed to like say something? So I kind of scoop my wheelchair up a little bit. And as I'm moving, I hear like keys like jiggling in the door. And I like immediately just stop pushing myself and I start crying. I just start crying. And I'm like, oh. I don't know. Like, it was just so sad. Like, I felt so abandoned at that point. I was like, wait, like, this lady really left me, a teacher. And I'm looking like, damn, the other students didn't think to say, like, oh my God, like, you're leaving her. Nobody spoke up for me. Nobody told the teacher, like, wait, she's in there. So, you know, this is a very long time ago. So I'm assuming, like, from what I remember, like, nobody said anything. So when I'm crying, face ugly, you know, and she finally opens the door. And she's like, oh my God, I am so sorry, Calvinisha. I didn't even know you were here. And then she just like was like telling me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like just apologizing. And I'm crying. I'm sad. You know, my feelings are really, really hurt. And you know when you were younger and your feelings get hurt, you feel that in your soul. You're like, oh, like why? So when she finds me, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's like, why didn't you say anything? And I was like, like I was so small, you know, so quiet. And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So she pushes me in my wheelchair out the classroom, and I proceed to see all the other kids. And all the other kids are looking at me like, girl, she left you in the classroom. Like, are you okay? And I was like crying. My face is all red. And honestly, that whole day was a bad day for me. So I went home and I told my mom what happened. And my mom was hysterical. Like, well, she left you in the classroom. She left you in the classroom. I was like, yes, Mom. She left me in the classroom by myself, and I was crying. All the other kids were laughing. I kind of just put the whoops on it because I wanted my mom to understand so she can call the school and let them know that the teacher left me in the classroom by myself to fend for myself for like 5 minutes. You didn't even, I'm sorry, give me a minute. But it's like, damn, like, I didn't even get a chance to be like a normal kid yet. I didn't even get a chance to adjust to school yet. So for that to happen on my my first or second day of school, like that really like took a toll on me. So anyways, you know, that situation happened. My mom contacted the school and they contacted my teacher. So my teacher apologized to me and to my mom. And that's basically how it happened. Like, and from that point on, I guarantee you, I could never lie. She was so nice to me. She was extremely nice to me for the rest of the school year. I didn't have no trouble out of her. She ain't had no trouble out of me. Whatever I needed, if I needed some help with something, she was already there. She was helping me, and she ended up being my favorite teacher. It was a very long school year. We took a lot of field trips together. You know, she ended up being pregnant, you know, mid-school year. So it was fun. It was fun watching her grow, and she watched me grow and other students grow. But I felt like I had a personal connection to this lady because she was, after that point, I feel like she felt bad, but she also saw that I was a really smart student. And she really helped me get through everything. Like, she didn't treat me like I was in a wheelchair. She treated me like a normal kid, and that's exactly what I wanted to be treated like. I didn't want to be treated as like another kid that's disabled. I wanted to be like the other kids and run and play like I used to. So for her to help me, you know, adjust and get better was great. And then, you know, eventually I got out of the wheelchair and I was so happy. But even then, even when I was not in the wheelchair and I got out of the wheelchair, she was just a great teacher. And, you know, years later, after all that happened, I was probably in like middle or high school, but I found her on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure sure it was middle school. Pretty sure this was middle school. But I found her on Facebook, and at the time, I was not supposed to be on Facebook. So mommy, if you're seeing this, or dad, if you're seeing this, just know, I know I wasn't supposed to have one. Y'all knew I wasn't supposed to have one, so we're just gonna skip right past that. Yeah, so, you know, I had contacted her on Facebook, and if you know anything about, like, the rules of, like, students and teachers, you cannot come in contact with students and teachers cannot come in contact or have each other on Facebook or anything like that. So I didn't add her as a friend. All I did was message her. And I was only in like I was in middle school, so I really didn't understand that at the time. But she had explained it to me. So I had messaged her like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I was your student in 4th grade, in your 4th grade class, yada, 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 just trying to catch up. And I didn't think she would message me back, but she did. She messaged me back, and she was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course I remember you. You were so smart. You were just so, like, beautiful. You were just a great kid. I'm so glad that you reached out to me. She's like, I'm sorry that I can't add you back. I'm sorry that I can't add you on Facebook because, you know, it's the rules. However, like, I'm glad that I got to speak with you. And we basically chopped it up for a little while, and she asked me, you know, like, what's your plans? Do you plan on going to college? And I was like, definitely, girl, you already know. And she was like, you know what? I am so proud of you. You were always one outstanding student. Like, you always overachieved over the other students. I used to have all pluses. I was like, so you know how, like, some schools do like A, B, and C and all that stuff on the report cards. Our school did like pluses and minuses and like slashes. So like pluses were like excellent, you know, slashes were like, you know, kinda, and then, you know, the dashes were like, you ain't doing too good. But mine in her class always had like pluses, and she saw that as like, you know, you're just a great kid. And that really meant a lot to me, you know, because, you know, even though I was in 4th grade, it's like a lot of teachers can see like who's gonna go to college, who's gonna be successful in life. Just instinct, like, you know, she always told me like, you're gonna be so smart, like, I can't wait for you to go to college, like, you're gonna be a great kid. And so, you know, we were talking, she was just basically asking me like, what's your plans and all that, and I told her like, yeah, I do plan on going to college. She was like, what classes are you taking? Are you taking good classes? And I was like, yeah, I'm taking good classes. Like, I'm excited to be in middle school, you know, having fun being a middle schooler. And she was just like, yeah, like, that's great, you know. And that's basically that story, and that's how it happened when I got reconnected with her. But anyways, I know this was a kind of like a short story time, but it was just like a thought. I don't know what made me come up with this idea to do this story time, but I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this. I want to tell this story. That's all I have for today. It was nice talking to y'all. It was nice doing this video. If you have not already, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like button, and comment. And if you haven't watched my previous video, go ahead and check that out. It was a Q&A. Spilled a little bit of tea. It wasn't a crazy Q&A this time. I think I'm gonna do like a themed Q&A. I just kind of wanted to get like a majority, like a majority type of thing, like just whatever, talk about whatever, ask me whatever type of thing for my first Q&A. But my second Q&A, we gonna spice it up a little bit. We gonna get grown up in here. It ain't gonna be PG-13 this time, so get ready for that. It's gonna be like a Q&A where just ask me personal questions, like, you know, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. So, you know, I was thinking about doing more story times, but whatever story times, like, topics, I can try to like shoot them around in the ballpark. But like I said in the beginning of this video, if you know me and you know this story already, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know who you are and let me know you're watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.